If I were a demon lord, how would I build a dungeon?
Turn it up, throw down your motherfucking door.
Hey guys, how's it going? OTAKU Mike here, doing another manga first impressions video for you today. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It always helps, and I love making new friends. So, click that subscribe button, ring the bell, and stay tuned for more manga videos. Yeah, because we're going to get into some manga today. Alright, so today we are looking at a manga called Dungeonbuilders. The Demon King's Labyrinth is a modern city. That's right, we're looking at another fantasy manga today. It is not an isekai manga, but it's a dungeon building manga. You know, I like my fantasy sword and sorcery manga. This one has a slight twist on it. This is also a light novel. This is published by Seven Seas Entertainment. So this manga starts out with a young demon lord who is newly born. His name is Procel. He wakes up to find that another demon lord basically kind of has made him. Her name is Marco. She is the demon lord of beasts, and she is tasked with basically helping him grow within the span of a year to become a demon lord. It's really interesting because Procel has the power, all the demons have special powers, but they all have powers to create special medallions, which they can use to basically summon creatures, and he actually does that. He summons some contracted creatures. He summons a fox, I believe she's a fox girl named Tinko, and then he summons an elder dwarf who likes to build guns and mech robots and stuff. That's actually pretty interesting. They actually introduce guns and sort of a fantasy element, and not a fantasy element, but a sci-fi element into this new series, or into this fantasy world, I should say. So most of the first half of this volume is him figuring out what this world is about, the limitations of his powers, for the most part, what he can and cannot do, how does he create a dungeon, because that's what his end goal is to basically create a dungeon for himself and his friends to basically live in, because he's not really a fighter, but when the going gets tough, he actually does, he does pretty well when it comes to fighting, but that's like his last resort when it comes to fighting, because he actually has to fight other demon lords at some point within this book, and basically he can't let anybody get a hold of his crystal ball, because his crystal ball holds his magic inside of the ball itself. So that's why he has to learn how to basically become a demon lord. And that's one aspect that's actually really cool. Sometimes they do spend a little too much time telling you the ins and outs of stuff, especially within the very beginning of the volume. But later on, he ends up going to this demon lord event where he has to fight other new demon lords, which that's actually really fun, because you get to see how they build their dungeons, because that's how they fight, is they build their dungeons, and each demon lord will send their monsters that they create into the other person's dungeon, and they basically try to invade each other's dungeons and to get the crystal ball and break it, and to get that demon lord's power. And it's really interesting. It actually gets kind of violent sometimes. because Procel actually uses assault rifles and like mech golems and stuff like that, which is actually pretty interesting to see all these magical creatures get gunned down by modern weaponry, I guess you could say. Um, there is some fan service in this book. I mean, as you can tell from the cover, there is some fan service. The fan service doesn't take over a lot in this book, but there is some. It does deal. There is a lot of world developing within this first volume, especially the first half, and then later on within, I believe, chapter 3 or 4, we get into the demon versus demon fighting, which is really, really cool because they have to use all their powers to create their dungeons, and they only have a certain amount of power to create because they're still new, and they don't have a lot of power. And each demon has a different thing that they specialize in, which is really cool. Kind of has like a little shonen battle element to it with the power leveling and whatnot. I really like his interactions with the other characters, Procel, because he plays more of like a father figure to more of his contracted monsters or the other contracted girls that he created. So there is kind of a harem aspect, but he doesn't like he looks at them more as like children. He doesn't look at them like potential harem girlfriend type of thing, which is not bad. This first volume, it was fun. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I felt it was a little slow at the beginning, but we did get some cool stuff, like seeing him make skeletons, and he gives them all assault rifles, which is really funny. And we get to see him interacting with his two contracted monsters, Tenko and L. It'll be interesting to see where this goes, because they're right now at the end of this first book. He's right in the middle of a battle, so I don't exactly know where it's going to go. I do know his eventual end goal is to make a dungeon where humans and monsters, or humans and demons, can coexist, and the demons don't have to, or the humans don't have to fear the demons, and because the demons basically feed off like fear and anxiety and stuff like that. He doesn't want to be that kind of demon lord. He wants to be a very benevolent, like good demon lord, But I actually really enjoyed the artwork. I thought it was a lot of fun. Here's some of the artwork right here. I liked his interactions with Marco, which is really funny because she plays more of the motherly elder demon lord to him. She gives him a lot of advice and helps him out a lot. And then sometimes kind of comes on to him a little bit sometimes. It's a little weird sometimes, but it's not bad. It's actually pretty tame. There isn't a lot of etchiness to this, but it was fun. It's a little generic at some points. I'm interested to see where it goes, but I really don't know where it's going to go because I have to actually read more of this. For a fantasy series that's based on a light novel, they can be hit or miss, and this one is actually a hit for me. I personally enjoyed it, and I personally will be picking up more of this series, or at least the first couple volumes, to see where it goes, because I actually want to see them built upon the dungeon fighting aspect. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this. Are you going to read it? Are you not going to read it? Let me know. I'm OTAKU Mike. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Happy dungeon building.